Hi! I have decided to make a quick little video just to say hello. I haven't done one of these sitting at my computer in over a month, I think. And also, I wanted to create the sense for myself that I've actually been slightly productive today. It's Saturday. I'm not going out tonight because I went out last night and something happened to my brain. I don't know. I drank one oh what did I do last night? Okay, so there is a burlesque company in town, based in Brooklyn, Wasabasco, and they're the best in the world. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but they get the best performers. Their shows are always spectacular. There's almost always something new that you haven't seen before, and they have different venues where, like, there's one venue, the House of Yes, which is where we were last night, where they focus on spectacle. The Bell House, which is rather close to us, they have a more theatrical sense, and they have a Manhattan it's not their venue, but the City Winery hosts their events. I don't know if it's monthly or bi-weekly, but it's more for the Manhattan and tourist crowd, and then they have a number of others that I don't go to as much. So, last night we went to the House of Yes. They were doing a collaborative show with, it was a Led Zeppelin themed show, and they had a live band, a Zeppelin cover band. Achilles' Last Band is the name of it. I had never seen this band, heard it, whatever. Although we have seen quite a few Led Zeppelin cover bands because Evan and I love Led Zeppelin, and usually the band will get like the visual element right on. You know, they get somebody who looks like Robert Plant, and you know all of his gesticulations and his affect are right on the money. They dress like the band, blah blah blah. The music's usually good. The singer's vocals have never been as mind-blowing as the vocals of the lead singer we saw in this band, who I'd actually met just a month ago. This guy, his name is Graham Norwood. I hope I'm not like violating something by talking about this. He lives in Brooklyn too. Anyway, so he came to see my new boss, who he already knew. I think he met him when they both lived on the West Coast or something. He came in to meet with him, and shortly after that meeting, my boss sent me and one other young woman who works at AFB an email. It was a forward with Graham's performance schedule. He has this band, and he has a solo career, and he just forwarded it along because the two of us like live music a great deal, and we've expressed that. So I was like, you know, one of the shows listed was the show that we saw last night, and I already had tickets to it. So I was very excited, you know, making this connection. And the show was out of this world. I mean, they keep outdoing themselves. They were only charging $20 a ticket, which is it's complete nonsense. I mean, they could have, it should have been $40 minimum, which still isn't a lot, but when you can get that much easily, I mean, I would have paid that without a second thought. The band was, I mean, they blew everyone away, and the host was exceptional. A woman who is also a burlesque performer, really, really smart, and just, you know, spontaneously comes up with clever things to say. And anyway, so I had a very small rye Manhattan, the same thing I order whenever I go out and I'm not quite confident in the bartender's ability to pour a strong drink. And this thing is tiny. It was like mostly ice, and I just thought, okay, this isn't going to do anything, right? This is nothing. So I drank the whole thing in about 2 or 3 minutes. I just, you know, I had my straw. And it affected me far more than I expected. I remember I was talking to someone about their tattoos, and I just felt like my mouth wasn't moving at the rate that I was trying to make it move, and so I just said, I don't know, and I shut up. It was very strange. Like, okay, the conversation stopped. So yeah, so that's what I had, and then Evan brought me this tiny little. This was like an hour and a half later. A tiny little, airplane size bottle of, I think it was like honey whiskey or something. I don't know. Again, not a lot of alcohol. We came home, I went to bed. I was disturbed multiple times between 5:20 and 7:05 by motorcycles revving the shit out of their engines that don't have mufflers. But otherwise it was fine. I got 6.5 hours of sleep at least. But I woke up just feeling like I couldn't function. And I had a headache, so I figured, okay, it's dehydration. I'm going to get some vitamin water zero, and I'm going to march through the park before it gets too hot, buy some groceries, come back. And I also had shooting pains in my leg, originating in my lower back, kind of through my hip down to my knee. And of course, those are, those are the symptoms of sciatica. Is that how you say it? Sciatica? I don't know. I think sciatica. Which I've never been diagnosed with. And I saw online that there's a test you can do. You lie flat, and then you lift a leg, the leg that's hurting, to see if it makes it worse. And that's how a doctor would diagnose this typically, or one of the ways. And it really didn't make it worse. So that's a good sign. And I couldn't like massage away the pain or stretch it away. It feels sort of swollen back there still. I took a couple of short naps, and after the second nap, the pain went away. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. I was probably asleep for like 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. So yes. And the other problem right now is that my blood pressure is, it's like 70/41. And I've been taking licorice root extract, which is what they recommend for people who suffer from low blood pressure. I've consumed much salt, plenty of fluids, and it's just not going up. And if you've ever experienced low blood pressure, it makes you very spacey. I'm having trouble connecting my thoughts logically or remembering what I'm saying as I'm talking. So it's a real handicap for someone who normally is a quick thinker. So yeah, so that sucks. And now it's 6:30 on a Saturday night. I'm obviously not going out. We're just gonna watch Outlander. And I thought I would show you something that you might already own yourself or know as much about as I do. So, I talk about liquid lipsticks almost as much, or maybe more, than I talk about VPAL on my channel. It's one of the things that I collect a lot of, and people are interested in hearing about it, apparently. Which, by the way, let me interrupt myself. Since I'm still a young channel, I would be interested in learning what you would like to see on this channel, because I made a Ren Fair video, which it was okay. It came out warbly after YouTube did its autocorrect of the shakiness, and I didn't notice how trippy it looked. Like when I'm walking around, it's like the sides are woo there. So it got a lot of hits very quickly, at least relative to my normal audience. So if that's the kind of thing people want to see, I'll do more of it. It's a lot more work just sitting here and talking, because of the editing and the time that it takes. Or if you want more makeup stuff, or more stories about things that happen in New York, or clothing, product reviews, let me know. I would be happy to accommodate. Yes. So anyway, back to the liquid lipstick. So after a long wait, I had been waiting and waiting for Jeffree Star to restock some shades that I was interested in trying, and one of them was Androgyny. So, in fact, you might be aware of this because if you follow him at all on any social media, there was an announcement, and it was this and like 2 others plus the Beauty Killer palette, which actually I probably should have bought as well. But so I got Androgyny, and I was well aware before buying it that it looked very close to a freebie that I got from, well, not exactly, not totally free, but Birchbox sent me Stila's liquid lipstick in Patina, and this stuff's great. It's really great. It's very moussey, easy to apply. I mean, everything about it is just, it's so user-friendly. The tip doesn't have all of those, like, it doesn't have like a frayed edge kind of thing, so you can apply it pretty precisely, and it doesn't feel totally dry. It has stayed on my lips all day, even at the Red Fair when it's 90 degrees outside. I'm sweating and I've had some greasy food. I mean, a little touch up, but it's one of the lipsticks that you actually can touch up. A lot of them you can't because it'll just look weird. Like, you'll get a heavier distribution where it was before. And anyway, so I got, I was also kind of concerned that it would be too similar to Brooklyn Thorn. But then I held Brooklyn Thorn up to, this is by NYX, I held Brooklyn Thorn up to the screen, and I was like, no way, this is much more pink, right? So if you compare the two, it's totally more pink. Let me cover up the air. So yeah, so I got this stuff. I'm wearing it right now. It's a beautiful shade. I love the color. It actually came out nothing like the Stila Patina shade that it looks so similar to in the bottle. And it's actually quite close to Brooklyn Thorn. Look at this. See how it did when you put it on? So you really can't tell just by looking at the bottle. In the bottle, it's much more of like a terracotta, kind of peachy rosewood shade. It comes out more of a gray purple. So I thought you should know that. And I also wanted to say that when I first got it, the viscosity of this is overwhelming. It was like this, it was almost drippy. And because of that, when I'm putting this stuff on, I want, and I think most people do, you want a very clean line at the border of your lip, right? So when I pressed, and this applicator is not the best. It does have kind of that, trying to make you get a good perspective on this. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that? See how it's sort of like, what can I compare this to? Like a hairbrush with bristles that stick out. I mean, it kind of has this potential to feather at the edges. So I was trying to be very precise, and that gave me a darker line around the edge, and I don't want that. And yeah, so today when I put it on, it was a much better experience. I just sort of let it sit for a week. I think it was about a week in my cabinet. I'm rubbing my hip if you're wondering what I'm doing. Under the screen. So we'll see. I love the color, but it's the sort of thing that you really have to work with. I don't know if all of the shades are quite as viscous as this. I have Weirdo. It doesn't look good on me, so I never wear it. It looks terrible on me. If anyone wants to buy it from me, used bottle of Weirdo. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this Jeffree Star lipstick. I don't know if I'll be trying another of his. I know there was a new line that was produced by Depeche Girl. Oh crap, I'm forgetting the name. It'll come to me as soon as I stop trying to remember it. Like Cryptic Cosmetics. Okay, so every shade in that line I want, and they were sold out. So I don't know when she's restocking, but that'll probably be the next brand that I try. And yeah, that might be all I have to say. Oh, except that I got this cool thing. Isn't this cool? So when I went to the Pennsylvania Ren Fair, um, and I haven't uploaded that video yet. I'm very sorry. It's way behind schedule. Um, in there, at Mount Hope Estates Winery, which is the grounds where the Pennsylvania Fair exists permanently. The first place that you come to, God, I love that fair. It's so good. You walk into their wine shop where you can taste as many of their wines as you want for free, and they have tons. As long as you don't get drunk, they say, and you know can't function anymore. But the people behind the counter are always drunk, and they'll just keep pouring for you. I mean, whatever you want, and I think it's a good strategy. People buy their shit. Anyway, so they have lots of little wine accessories and gifts in that place, and I saw these flasks. I did not buy it. It was so hot that weekend that I nearly passed out twice. At least I felt like I was going to. And I just wasn't thinking. I didn't remember to go back and buy the flask that I saw. These are by Mugsy. They had a bunch of really cool like pagan designs, and they had a stag on the front of one. I almost got that. On Amazon, I almost got it when I looked up Flask, and I typed in the design, a name of a design, and anyway, I eventually stumbled upon what I was looking for, and I got this design, which I think is super cool. It was only like $20, which is a whole lot better than paying $100 for a custom-made embossed leather variety, which is what I was considering doing, because that would also be really cool at the Ren Fair. The whole point is to have something with me at the Ren Fair, because at the New York Fair they don't serve quality mead. They serve Carol's mead, which is, I mean, it tastes just fine. It's very sweet though, and they want $7.50 for a small cup of that, and I have stock. I have many bottles of superb mead from Mellow Vino Meadery. It's a craft meadery in New Jersey. You might have heard of it. You might have heard me talk about it. So I'll be bringing my own. I have an espresso mead in the kitchen, which I can't use at night. Unless I'm going out. It's just sitting there. So that'll be what I take to the fair the next time I go in this very flask. So yeah, that's it. Please go ahead and comment and tell me what you want to see on this channel. And I'll see you next time, alright? Have a great weekend. I'm going to upload this right now.